Good Fairy. The original publisher, Story Weaver Community. The author, Idris Siddiqui. Illustrators, Audrey Agnier, Dinaz Irani, Grace Stroke, Helga Parekh, Natasha Sharma, Partho Singh Gupta, and Rob Owen. The translator, Vandita Sharma. Good Fairy. Good fairies also roam the earth, to the sky. She also likes to stay in the air and move around with it. It is not a good fairy's mind that she lives in water. She cares a lot about creatures. Whether on the ground or in the water, other fairies are surprised that everyone in the world knows the fairy. Rather, they like her a lot and respect her. How do you know all beings? The little angel asked. The good fairy smiled softly and said, I live in the breaths of all humans, animals, and trees. Little fairies understood it. They also know. Birds flying in the sky breathe. Fish and other creatures in the water cannot survive without breath. Breathing is there. Life is from breathlessness. Trees and plants also breathe. A little angel asked, How do you live in water? I dissolve very easily in water, and it doesn't take long for me to dissolve. Little fairies started telling fairies. So no one can see my whereabouts in water. They started saying, There are creatures like fish and turtles in the water. Well, the angel said with a smile. Well, without me, the fire doesn't burn. But let the fire burn, not the fire. Talk about it. Kali Pari knows well, but she does not miss trying to embarrass the fairy. There are 3 big inventions on earth. There is also a discovery of fire in them. The good fairy started saying honestly. There is no fault in her intention. What would be the life of human beings without fire? It is the fire of the sun that gives life to the earth. Without fire, humans cannot work. It is not only needed to make food, fire has energy and heat. Both of these are indispensable for survival. Little fairies were shocked when the fairy told them, I make water too. Hey, how's that? They asked with surprise. Very easy thing. She wants to keep the interest of little fairies. That is why they can be motivated for good works. I do not do this alone. Then smilingly said, The truth is my partner's contribution is double. This had a good effect. This is the power of the truth. One of mine and my friend's 2 molecules makes water. The rays of the sun are coming down in the sky at the very top. They reach the earth from the sky. The heat of the sun rays brings energy to the creatures on the earth. Looking at the fairy angel, she said, Hey, there are some ultraviolet rays in the sun rays too. She knows that these ultraviolet rays are creatures on earth. They harm animals and flora. A good fairy started thinking, if such rays are not stopped from reaching the earth, everyone will suffer. How can a good angel see people in distress? She began to murmur. Ultraviolet rays can cause skin diseases like cancer. The ground will get very hot inside. Then what will happen to the flora? How will the crops be? Thinking this, the fairy contributed to the sky. At a very high altitude, a thick layer, sheet-like, giving a tone. Now the sun's harmful rays will reach very little on the earth. He is very happy. The Jehoian umbrella will keep the earth from harm. A habit of a good fairy is very interesting. Very few people know it. A good fairy likes to live in salted water more than fresh water. She lives in much more water than the ground. Why is that? Asked a fairy about her nature. I got an answer. There are too many creatures in the sea. They need me more for breath. She's right. Life goes on with breath. Then how can all creatures and flora forget the favor of the good fairy